We started last Saturday on branching, merging, and the collaboration basics. And as you all know, we already did the branching part where we saw how we can create branches, how we can list the available branches, how we can move between branches, how we can name or rename branches, how we can delete existing branches, how we can create branches from what we call refs or from existing commits and recovering deleted commits, by using the Git log, etc. So today, specifically, we are doing what we call merging branches, and then we will introduce also the collaboration basics for that matter. And that being said, I will go directly to merging. Merging. I know that we already saw what is a detached head, how we can detach a head from a branch whatsoever, Git log and stuff. So today, as I said, we are doing merging and merge conflicts. Now, why merging? Merging is important because when you are working with multiple branches, usually you will have to make sure that in the end you have a single code base which you're going to deploy. And therefore, for example, if you have the development branch, for example, which is an integration center, and then you have these feature branches and hot fixes and experimental branches and blah blah, uh, bug fixes whatsoever. Everything that you are doing, you'll want to integrate the code base back to the development branch and later to the main branch, because the main branch is the main code base which you will want always to go and deploy into your production environment. And therefore, that being said, so when you have, for example, three branches, you have a branch called main, a branch called dev, a branch called maybe login, a branch called sign up. Now, having a branch called sign up where you're developing the sign up page and the sign up logic as well, and then another branch which is called uh, login where you are developing the login logic. In the end you want to merge everything back to the dev environment. So by using the development branch, then you merge everything back to that branch. And therefore, sometimes you might have developed some code or you have made some changes inside the development branch. If that is the case, that means whenever you are bringing uh, changes or commits from one branch to another branch, this is what we call as a merge. When you bring commits from one branch into another branch, that is called a merge. And now we will discuss the two types of merges, the Git merge and the Git rebase, depending on the environment that we want to see. But within the Git merge, for example, we'll look directly into the two types of merges. That is fast forward merge versus the three-way merge. And then we will see how we can resolve merge conflicts, because uh, every time or most of the time when you are writing your code, especially in a team, there are files that might happen to be edited or modified by different team members. So the same file has been touched by Alex, and the same file has been touched by Joseph. So these two guys have touched the same file. They've introduced new changes into the file. Now, when you want to merge these two files, always you will find a conflict between these two files. The one coming from Juma or Alex with mine. So for example, if I am Joseph, I've pulled the changes or the commits from Alex or from Juma. When the changes are coming or the commits when they are coming into my branch, what will happen if there is a file that has been modified by all these parts or all these parties to be precise? Then you will find an alert or a pop-up of conflict resolution. So we will see how we can make these conflicts or we can resolve these conflicts manually. And this is the reason I asked you guys to make sure that you have what we call an intelligent, something like a sophisticated IDE, like Visual Studio Code, because these, for example, merging conflict or merging editors are built in into these software IDEs. So, having said that, as I said, merging is the process of integrating changes from one branch into another. So when you are integrating the changes between two or more branches, that is what you call merging. So you take a work from another person or another branch, not another person, sorry, another branch, and you combine into the current branch. That is called merging. Fast forward merge, there is no divergence. And this is especially a type of merge where the current branch has not made any further or any additional commits since a new branch has was created. So, for example, if you have the main branch, you commit the first time, and then you commit the second time, and then you commit the third time, and after committing these three times, what do you do then? You create a feature branch. And then after creating a feature branch, you make some developments and then you commit and commit. Later on, you switch back to the main branch. And remember, in the main branch, you didn't do any commits since creating that other branch and switching to that branch. Now, since the branch made several commits in that feature branch, and then you have come to the main branch, then when you merge between the main branch and the feature branch, bringing anything or all the commits that were done on the feature branch to the main branch, this is what we call the fast forward merge. There is no divergence because what you do only is to move the pointer of the main branch to include the commits of the feature branch. That's all. But when you're talking about the three-way merge, these branches have diverged. So you'll find one branch have its own way and another branch has its own way. Now, when these two branches comes together, you need to take the commits from this branch and the commits from this branch and bring them together and create a new commit. And this is called the three-way merge. And as I said, a merge conflict occurs when two branches modify the same line in a file differently. So Git will ask you to resolve manual. Now let me show you by using the Git Playground before we even come back to our code and show practically how it happens. So let me show you by using the Git Playground, which I showed you guys last week. That is just a place where Git is simulated. The Git environment is simulated. You can write your Git command there, and you know, as you write your Git commands, you will see visually what is happening. So when I'm saying even this thing of the three-way merge and the fast-forward merge, you will see physically or visually, graphically, what is happening behind the scenes. Yes. So the Git Playground. Let me show you the Git Playground. I think is Okay. Yeah, so this is where we were doing the simulation of Git commands. I think you are able to see it. I just want to show you a few things. So for example, today we are doing uh, not branching, but we are doing merging Git. So I will open this simulator and then let us see what happens when we merge branches. Now look at this screen. You see in this, I don't know whether this is purple or some sort of, what color is this? Orange or something? I don't know. Pink, maybe. Let me say pink. So you see, this is the end goal, and this is what we are given. We have only one branch, which is called the main branch, and the head pointer is pointing to the main branch currently, and we have two commits, the C0 and C1. But we are required to commit, we are required to write commands to create something or to create this history here, where we have commit C0 and then C1. And then after C1, we see that we create a new branch called bug fix. And then we commit C2, and then we switch back to the main branch, and then we commit C3, and then we merge the two commits to have the new commit C4, right? So you are to look here, watch closely what is happening at the middle. So if we say currently we have two commits, and the main and the head pointer is on the main branch, and we only have a single branch. So what we are required to do here is to create a new branch, and that branch is called bug fix. So what we do is we create a new branch and switch to that particular branch. So if we click, we'll find out that a new branch bug fix has been created, and the head pointer is pointing to the bug fix branch. And since we are on bug fix, then we commit to have commit the 2. So say git commit, you see? So we have C2 as a commit, but that commit is specifically on branch bug fix. Then what I do, I switch back to main. So git switch main. So the head pointer is on branch main. And then I commit to have commit C3. So git commit, then I have C3. Now you see, we have two branches, bug fix and, you know, the main branch. What you are required to do here is to merge these two branches so that we have a single commit that brings together the changes from both branches. Now, what we do here is what we call the the three-way merge. Yes. So if we say we are currently on main branch, and if we say git, then merge with what? We want to merge with bug fix. So we say merge with bug fix. So what will happen here is that the two commits will be combined to create a new commit C4. And once we are done, because this is a playground, we will be told that the puzzle has been solved. So you better pay attention before it disappears. So what I'm saying is we are currently on the branch main. As you can see, the asterisk is pointing on main. What happens here, when I write git merge and then bug fix, I'm telling Git to go and bring all the commits in the branch called bug fix and then bring it to main. So you see, these two branches will bring their commits together, and then we will create a new commit, which in this context is called C4. So if I hit enter, you see what happens? So we have solved the puzzle. So that is what we were required to do, to create a merge commit. Creating a merge commit is as simple as you have seen. Now back to our code, so that we can see what happens with our code. Now, if you see here, this is what we were doing from last week. Maybe you remember we are in branch. Let me see Git. Okay, Git status. Okay, let me list the branches first. Git branch. So we are having a number of branches. We have contact, contact one, and main. And currently we're on a branch main. So on a branch main, if we want to see, let us examine this file here. So you see this file here is saying Christopher Kalori is a lecturer of higher learning institutions. Let me move them. I cannot read. Okay, in Tanzania. He works, okay. He works as an instructor in the areas of data engineering, software engineering, machine learning, engineering, DevOps, and statistics. He currently instructs data science students at the Eastern Africa Statistical Training Center. He holds a master's degree of science in data science from the University of Dar es Salaam, and currently pursuing a PhD at the People's University of Japan. He'll be graduating in 2027. Now, if you look carefully at this file, then we are going to another branch. So we say git switch. Where are we switching? We're switching to contact one. For example, and then we're in contact one. Now in contact one, we see that everything that was in main concerning the bio.txt the same. So I am in the branch contact one. So if you say git status here, you see it says on a branch contact one, nothing to commit, working tree clean. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add some content in this file bio.txt. I say after his graduation, he'll be coming back to the country. Back to the country, and he will rejoin his fellow colleagues, build the economy of the country. See that? Then we save. Now remember, for you to be able to merge, you must commit. You must commit. You don't commit, that means nothing has been done. So number one, you remember when you make any modifications, number one is to add the file into the staging area. If you want to know what is happening, you just write git status. You'll be told what is supposed to be done. So here, for example, it says changes not staged for commit. We must stage changes for the commit. And adding changes to the staging area for commit, we usually say git add, and then we mention the files, and we said if we want to add all the files that have been modified, although currently we have only bio.txt, if we put the dot, we said dot means add all the files that have been modified. If we write, for example, this is a single file, so we can write something like that, and then the file will be added. If we git status again, we see now that changes are supposed to be committed. So we haven't committed the changes yet. If we want to restore back, to remove the file from the staging area, we just git restore minus staged to unstage. But now we don't want to unstage. What we want to do is to commit. So we say git commit, and then we put a message, and the message says modified the bio.txt file. We're good to go. So we have committed. But remember, the changes are done here at the contact1 branch. We are still in contact1 branch. Remember that. So what are we going to do? We are going to switch back to the main branch. So git switch. You see line 11 and line 12 will not be available when we switch back to main. So if you say git switch then main, you see line 10, 11, and 12 are not there. So if we want the changes that we made on the contact1 branch to come to this particular branch, which is the main branch, what do? We merge the two branches. How do we merge them? We git merge, and then which commits do I want to bring into the main branch from the contact1 branch? So this is an example of the fast forward merge, because since we changed or we made changes to the main branch, we haven't made any other changes. Instead, we switched it to the contact1 branch. After switching to the contact1 branch, we made changes there. We made modifications there. And we came back now to the main branch. Nothing, no extra commit since switching to the contact1 branch. So what we are doing here is that we are just doing what we call the fast forward merge, only moving the pointer of the main branch to include the commits of the contact1 branch. So when I click enter, you will see that this particular file, the bio.txt, will be also updated. In other words, what will happen here is that a new commit will be created. And for you to be able to see, I will click the source control here. If you're using this particular code editor or IDE, you must have something like this one here. If I click this, it shows the history. It will be showing us the history. Now, all these are the old commits that I made before this session. So for you to be able to see what happened, let me first go back to contact1. So switch contact1 so that you can see. Now I want you to look at this graphical or the history of the commits in this particular branch. So when I switch to contact1, you'll be able to see the last commit which we made, which the message said modify the bio.txt file. You see now? So this is the commit that we made in contact1. This is the commit that we made in contact1. It says modify the bio.txt file, as you can see. So this is what I wanted you to see. Now we are going back to the main branch. Now we are merging now. Contact1. Now look careful what happens. When I click enter, you see the file has been modified. Now it includes line 10, line 11, and line 12. And this, as you can see, is the fast forward merge. So uh, Git has created, it has created what? It has created a new commit. But technically, because it's a fast forward merge, actually what Git did is to move the pointer in the main branch to go and point to the last commit made by contact one. This is why if you see also the main branch includes this one here, which is called modified the bio.txt file. This particular commit was not done in main, but rather it was done in what? In contact one. So if you click here or if you look closely here, you see that this commit is actually coming from contact one. So this is why contact one is listed here. If you see two branches here, that means a merge has been done. For example, if I click here, you don't see two branches. If I click here, you don't see multiple branches. Okay, we have a merge here. If I click here, you don't see the commit coming from two branches, but this one is coming from two branches. We have a merge, and that particular merge is coming from the contact one what? Contact one branch. So that is called the fast forward merge. Now I'm going to show you uh, the what? I'm going to show you the three-way merge. Now, what is the three-way merge? As we said, three-way merge, that means multiple commits from, or the commits have diverged. Each branch has its own commits, and then you want to bring those commits together. Watch carefully. So here inside the main branch, what we are doing is, for example, in the help.txt, we make some changes. So for example, we might say, okay, reach us for help by writing that into our email address. Our email address is found at the footnote of this web page. Yes. So that is whatever we did in the main branch. What we do is to make sure that we stage these changes and then we commit. Remember the workflow. You first modify and then you stage the changes and then you commit. If you don't follow those three workflow procedures, then you won't be able to push or to pull whatsoever. You won't be able to merge, you won't be able to rebase because your changes are not staged and are not committed. Number one to remember is that number one, you modify a file in a particular branch. You modify a file, you create a new file, you delete a file, and then after doing whatsoever it pleases you as a programmer or data analyst whatsoever, then you must make sure that you stage those changes or those modifications, the created or the created files, the modified files, and the deleted files. You stage them for commit. After staging them for commit, then the third procedure is to commit them. After you have committed them, then you are good to go. You can pull, you can push, you can merge, you can rebase, you can do whatsoever you're supposed to do with Git. So we are committing here. We say updated the help.txt file. Committed. Then we switch to contact one. Sorry, contact one. We are in contact one. In contact one, if we look at the help file, you see, it is just as old as it was. So in this particular branch, we're not going to modify this particular file, but rather I want to modify the contacts. So in the contacts here, I will add the Facebook handle. So I'll say Facebook. This is a Facebook handle. So we have modified. So you see now we have modified files in both branches. I know that we have to stage the changes, and then after staging the changes, we commit them. We write the message may be updated the contact.txt file, and then we have committed. Now we go back to our main branch. And remember, it's good to merge your code from the main branch. So switch. Now, when we merge, if we merge these commits here, technically we are performing a three-way merge because each branch has divergence, each branch has committed. So there is a new commit, or at least one commit from each branch. So look carefully here. What happens? So now I do, we merge what? Contact one. Look carefully here at this source control. Look what happens graphically. When we click enter, you see what happened? So this is here. This is where we were before we made changes and committed when we said updated the help text file. So this commit, particularly this commit, is updated the help txt file. And then another branch, which is the contact branch, has updated the contact.txt file. And then these two now has created a new commit. And the commit name is merge branch contact one. So you see this? This is the message. Merge branch contact one. So this commit, which incorporated changing contact.txt file, and this commit in the menu branch, which actually updated the help file, you see, they have been merged together and created a new commit. And therefore, in this context, we will find that the contact file has been updated and the help file has been updated. This contact file actually was updated at the contact one branch, while this particular help file was updated here at the main branch. This is what we call merging. This is what we call merging. So we have performed a three-way merge and a fast-forward merge together, and we've seen the effects of doing each. You see that? Then we come to something else. What is something else? Then we show how we can resolve conflicts. For example, you see this particular file here, which is say reach us for help by writing directly into our email. Our email address is found at the footnote of this web page. And remember now, what we did here was merging, bringing the commit from the contact one to the main branch. So let us go and look what happens, or what happened in the contact one branch. You will see that nothing has happened. Actually, this particular help file, because the merge was done by taking the commit from the contact one branch into what? Into the main branch. Now, to this juncture, actually, if we want to bring now the changes or the commit from the main branch back to this particular branch, this will be the fast forward merge. This now will be the fast forward merge because the contact.txt file, which is here, this same content is also available in the main branch. So if we say git merge then main, This is fast forward. I mean, this is fast forward. Sorry. Contact main. You see now that if we open the help, I think the help file, you'll see now it has incorporated the changes from both ends. So if you want to bring the commits from the main back to contact one, you have to merge as well. So after merging, we see now what has happened. Now what I want to do here, I want to create a conflict. How do we create a conflict? We say reach us for blah, blah, blah. And then let me add another line here and say, uh, thank you for visiting this web page. And then this is help.txt, right? I'm in the contact one, whatever. You see? And something which you need to see, for example, when we merged here, we said it was a fast forward merge, and you can look with here. It says fast forward, fast forward. Uh-huh. Fast forward. Now, let me get status so that we see what is happening. We have modified the help.txt file. We have modified line number 5. Thank you for visiting this web page. So we git add, and then we git commit, modified the help again, whatever, help file, help again. And then we have successful done that. We git switch main. And then in main, we also go to the same line. Sorry. And then what do we do here? We say maybe, for example, this help file is awesome. See that? We've modified the same line. So we git add, we git commit -m, modified the same help line. Then we git merge with contact one. Now it will not merge automatically, but rather it will ask for resolution because there is a conflict. So if we click enter, you see there is a conflict. It says resolve in merge editor. Okay, there is a conflict actually. And what is the conflict? It says conflict content, merge conflict in help.txt. Now, depending on a type of ID that you are using, you see this window will come in different forms. So whatever you have, you have a conflict inside a file. So you'll have markers. You see this marker, which is these angle brackets and the head, which is the current change. So it shows you the current change. It says this help file is awesome. This is the current change inside the current branch. And there is an incoming what? Incoming change from contact one. So in order for you to be able to recognize these changes, which comes from which branch, the head, this marker head, and this marker here, anything between these two markers is the change or the modification in the current branch. And between this marker and these angle brackets at the end, this shows the incoming what? Incoming change. So after this now, you will be asked, you accept the current change, or you accept the incoming change, or you accept both changes, or you compare. Now you can also open the media editor. Now it depends on, that's why I'm saying it depends on what? It depends on the IDE that you are using. The sophistication is different. You might want to compare. See that? If you say compare now, you see this one here is the current one, and this one here is the incoming one. The change with the addition line, the addition symbol. This is the incoming one. So let us continue. So I want to go back where I was. Okay. Sorry. I'm not able to see here. Let me minimize. Let me minimize. Oh, so as you can see, so you have the current changes and the incoming changes. So the file is the same. These arrows will be used to make sure that you move between because conflicts might come into might be multiple conflicts in the same file, multiple conflicts. So what I'm going to do here, I am back here to the help.txt with this. Now I'm going to accept the current change, or I'm going to accept the incoming change because I think the incoming change is more logical. The incoming change says, thank you for visiting this web page. And therefore, I'm accepting that, which means uh, the current change, which is this help file is awesome, will be read off. It will be removed. Or you can accept both. And when you accept both, that means everything will come together. But I'm not going to do that. I'm only accepting the incoming change, and then uh, I am done. Put a tick. Save all commits and changes, commit changes. Boom. Sorry, Git fatal error because unresolved conflict. Which unresolved conflict? Show command output. Something happened here. Now I think we have resolved the conflict. So you'll see that now we've merged the branch contact one. And if we go to that particular file help.txt, we will find that the change that we took was the thank you for visiting this web page. This is coming from contact one. That is how we resolve merge conflicts. If there is any question, you may ask while I am moving back to, back to something else. Now we are moving. I will be discussing now about rebase. Let me see. So that's all about actually merging and resolving merge conflicts. So we have seen the fast forward. We have seen the three-way merge. We've seen uh, how we can create conflicts and how we can resolve them, right? Now, I will add something else. I will discuss it here because I think it is somewhere else, but I will discuss it here as well. Something called the rebase. I think the rebase is somewhere. Is it somewhere? Where is it? Rebase. Okay, I will just discuss it. I think I didn't feature it into my notes. Okay. So Git Rebase. Git Rebase is the same as Git Merge with only one exception. Git Rebase merges two branches with a clean history. A clean history. I will show you an example from our our playground. This is specifically for Git Rebase. Rebase main, see what happens. So let me show you. Git Rebase. So Git Rebase allows for a cleaner history while you are merging your what? You are merging your branches. So for example, we are required here, we have a single branch called main, and then we have two commits CO and C1. And now we are required to create a branch called bug fix and commit C2, and then switch back to main and commit C3, and then rebase. Now, when you rebase, you will see it actually creates a cleaner history, as you can see here. Because previously, what would happen previously? Previously, something like this could have happened. When we say merge, then it could do something like this. So you could have this merging two branches, and this could be now something like C4. But instead, with Git Rebase, it applies a cleaner history. So it just takes all the commits from the rebase branch and brings it on top of what? Of the main branch. So let us see practically what happens. What happens? So if we say, for example, git checkout -b bug fix. Sorry for the newcomers, checkout and switch, they all do the same thing. So when you're creating a branch from checkout, you have to include the flag -b. But if you're using switch the modern way, you use -c. So this is bug fix. So we create a branch and switch to the branch immediately after creating it. And that's what we have done. And then if we git commit here, you see what has happened. Then we switch back to main. So we are on branch main, and then we commit. So you have something like that. Now, if you rebase, we said it creates a cleaner history instead of something like, let me show you again. Let me annotate again. When we git merge, what will happen, it will do something like this, and then it will do something like this. It will create a new commit here. Maybe this is C4. So these two commits will be brought together by a merge commit. But we're not doing a merge commit, rather we are doing a rebase. So rebase will do something like this. So it will create a new commit here, and the commit is C4. This is Git Rebase. So practically now, we say, because we are on the main branch, we say, oh, the head branch. So git commit, sorry, not git commit, git rebase. So in order for you to rebase commit from another branch to another branch, you just write git rebase, and then you mention that particular branch. So the branch is bug fix. Look what happens. See that? That is what. Okay, but I think I made a mistake. But uh, okay, yes. No, no, we made a mistake. So let me reset. Git switch minus C bug fix, and then git commit, and git switch main. And then I must commit also, git commit in while in main, and then git rebase bug fix. Okay. That is what we call rebase, but now I have done it. Uh, I have reversed it. It's supposed to I am supposed to rebase while on bug fix and not on, because the pointer here is showing bug fix. So let me go back and show you what we are required to do here. But the cleaner history, this is the cleaner history that we're talking about here. So let me reset. Git checkout bug fix. Git commit. Oh, okay. Git checkout. Git checkout minus B bug fix. Sorry. Okay. Git check. Oh, check out minus B bug fix. We're good to go. Git commit. We're good to go. Then git checkout main. Then git commit. Git checkout bug fix. And git rebase main. So that's what we are supposed to do. Actually, now what we are saying here is that this is what we call the rebase commit. So if you want to see that cleaner history, how it works, we can come back to our file here and try to see how we can do it. Now, currently we are here. We can see where are we. Let me see where are we. Hey, let me clear the screen. What is this? Okay. So let us make a change, a little change. Thank you for visiting us for this website, and then I say welcome again. Okay, save, and then git status. Which branch are we? We're on branch main. Okay, that's fine. Git commit, git add, and then git commit minus M. Demonstrating the base. Okay, git switch contact one. So if we are here, let us see how we can we rebase here. We are on contact one. Remember, we have thank you for visiting this web page. Welcome. I think we wrote welcome again, something like that. Okay, we will see it. So we say git. Now we are on contact one. So we say git rebase what? Main. And see what happens here. If we enter, then we see the demonstrating rebase. has been also applied where? To contact one. So in order for you to be able to see exactly what is happening, let me make some few commits. For example, let me add another thing here. Reach our manager for consultations, and then git add, git commit, line 6 added, and then we make another change. Our customer service is fantabulous. This is the second commit, git add, git commit -m, line 7 added. And then we make another commit. Our custom says is very fantabulous. You will enjoy. We save, we stage. Whenever we write git add, you remember that we are staging. So, and then git commit. When we say git commit, it means we are saving a history. Line 8 added. We are good to go. Let us go back to main. Git checkout main. So if you're on Git contact one, you're able to see these, these commits, line 6 added, line 7 added, line 8 added, right? So when we come to Git checkout main, we don't see those commits, but we can bring them now by using the rebase, you see. Now, even though we're not doing the fast forward merge, if we, for example, say, okay, we have another file here, the bio.txt or the contact.txt, so we say, okay, let us add the X handle. So we have the X handle, and then the X handle also says, yeah, we are good. So we can commit that also. Git add git add and the git commit -m added the X handle. After that, now we are good to go. Now we can say git rebase what? Contact one. So it will not create branches like this one here, because every branch has its own images, I mean its own commits. So what will happen is that Git will create a cleaner history. A cleaner history. So Git rebase contact one, enter. Look what happens. Okay. See that? So it has added line 6, line 7, line 8 in a straight line like this, and its own commit. Previously, when we were doing merge, it could go this direction and this direction, then it created the merge at the end. But here, you can see that it is a single line, a clean history, a very clean history. That is the purpose of what? Of Git rebase branch. When you Git rebase, you merge, but by maintaining a cleaner code or commit history. That is the purpose of Git rebase, and that is the difference between Git rebase and Git merge. Thank you very much. And then we are finalizing.